I am so over playing small, and so should you be. You know, I realize how so many of us go through life and we downplay our achievements, we downplay the things that we've done in our lives. We kind of try to pass ourselves off as being very humble and palatable to people who literally have no idea what it means to do the things that you have done. Why do we do it? Like, stop playing small. You need to play big and you need to go after your dreams full force and stop holding yourself back for people that have no idea of what it's like to achieve the things that you've done. I've had a coffee and a chocolate biscuit and I am on fire because I feel so passionate about this. You know, I read the news this morning. The Lionesses, so this is the England women's football team, have won the Euros for 2025. This is like the second time that they're bringing the cup home. It's incredible, right? What a great achievement. There's going to be a victory parade. It's just going to be a really big celebration in London when they come home. But some men have been criticising the Lionesses, saying that it's not really football and they didn't play very well. Rah, rah, rah. But I'm still waiting for the England men's football team to bring the cup home. Capito. So this is the situation. You should be playing big at all costs because there will always be people ready to tear you apart, ready to downplay what you're doing, ready to strip away your achievements. You just cannot let them. And I really feel passionate about this because whatever you do in life, you are making some kind of an achievement. Say, for example, you've got a YouTube channel. So, some of my friends have YouTube channels, and I'm really proud of them for doing it because it takes a lot to grow a YouTube channel, let me tell you. And, it takes commitment and it's a beast. It's not like any other social platform. But boy, oh boy, is it one of the most rewarding experiences to have. So I've got people I know, friends with YouTube channels, and sometimes they'll be like, oh, I've only got, I don't know, 400, 500 subscribers. I don't have many subscribers. And I'm like, that's 400, 500 subscribers that you didn't have before. And that is 500 subscribers on very few videos in the grand scheme of things that you've actually posted. Like, you should be so proud of that. Why do we consistently play small? I have been guilty of it before. Like, when people will ask me what I do, I don't talk about my books that I've written. I don't talk about my YouTube channel often. It's my boyfriend that's normally like, oh, she's Miss Brittany. I'm like, I don't know why, but sometimes I play small too, because I almost don't want people to judge me, I guess, first and foremost. Maybe there's a little bit of insecurity around the work that I produce sometimes because I think that we can all be a bit hard on ourselves at times in terms of what we're producing and what we create for the world. But also, I think as well, sometimes I care too much what people think. And this is something that I'm constantly working on. Like, it's something that I definitely do less of now compared to the past, but it still rears its head at times. And so it's definitely something that will be an ever evolving, ongoing process, I think, for all of my life. But every time I navigate a situation like this, I always get a little bit better than I was before. But I think that plays a part as to why sometimes I play small. Absolutely. But I'm kind of over playing small now because what does it bring me? What benefit does it bring me? You know, I have done some incredible things in my life. I've had some incredible experiences. I don't talk about them. I spoke about them at the time when I had them. I was really proud of myself, but now I've lived this life in Italy and my life is very different and I do different things here. I don't talk about my past achievements, but why not? Why am I playing small? You know, I was a successful entrepreneur. I was a police officer. Why don't I talk about those experiences enough? Because really they have shaped me to be the person that I am today. And without having had those experiences, I don't think I would be the woman here today. Absolutely not. The police taught me one massive thing. The police taught me the power of communication. I remember when we used to have officer safety training. So, this was regular training that we used to have for self protection and also just to teach us new techniques and things like this. I remember our instructor would say to us, it doesn't matter what equipment you have, your cuffs, your CS spray, taser, whatever it may be, the most important tool you have is your mouth and your ability to communicate, because your words can escalate or de escalate a situation more so than any piece of equipment that you may have attached to you. And I've never forgotten that. And I think honestly, the police made me an amazing communicator, because I do feel like I can communicate very well, in all different situations, to people who both want to communicate and those who don't. And I think this is a skill because I tested it in many different circumstances in the police. Like, I've seen many different things over the course of time that I was a police officer. And trust me, my communication skills were really put to the test in that job. Being an entrepreneur, I learned how to be self-made because I had no entrepreneurial experience prior to this. I used to follow people who were entrepreneurs, but I didn't come from an entrepreneurial family. But I made a go of it. I listened to my gut. I made a success of myself. And I learned so many lessons along the way. I learned about my money blocks because, trust me, when you have a business, any kind of limiting beliefs you have about money suddenly come bubbling to the surface. I learned about what it was like to have a team, because just before I left my business to move to Italy, I had a team of staff. I learned what it was to have that scarcity mindset, thinking that it's like feast or famine. I learned so much from having my business. I had some incredible opportunities. I've been inside 10 Downing Street, the home of the British Prime Minister, for an awards event. Like, it's exceptional, the opportunities and experiences I've had. And I sit here and I think I play small so often. I really, really do. And I'm tired of playing small. You playing small does a huge disservice to the world. When you are able to step up and you're able to be you in all of your colors, I think you serve more people than you realize. Us trying to be modest, us trying to be humble, us trying to fit in, us not wanting to seem arrogant or full of ourselves, behaving like that doesn't really get you anywhere. And I almost want to encourage you today that if you've done great things in your life, talk about them, share them with people, inspire people, motivate them, teach them something from those experiences. But whatever you do, don't play small. If you're trying to grow a social platform, be proud of your achievements. Look at the process as a journey. Look how far you've already come, even though you've only really just begun. If you are planning to make a big life change, move to Italy, change careers, whatever it may be, then you need to stop playing small and you need to start leaning into the skills that are going to make that possible for you and the strength of character that you have to follow such a path. And it's this: the world doesn't need people who have shrunk themselves down to the point where they don't even want to speak. The world needs people who are prepared to stand up bold and be strong and talk about their experiences and their achievements, because they're there to be enjoyed. And if people do not reciprocate in a way that shows that they appreciate what you're talking about, they are not the people for you, because you really cannot please everyone in life. But just because you have a few people that don't get your achievements and don't respond positively to them, it doesn't mean that you should stay silent, because there are many other people who would do the complete opposite. And so that is what I want you to hold on to. Stop playing small because you're worried about others. Play tall for you and for the influence and impact you're going to have on people you don't even realize. I will see you in the next episode.